Hey, so part two, who's eating my pain, kind of came out as who's eating my goo. So I had another picture. So I was talking about the pain and the energies that emanate from your body when you're in that doom, gloom, despair, frustration, anger, whatever. And I was using the analogy of you're boiling a pot of water and you see the steam, right? And these little guys are just waiting around to can it. Well, then they showed me the picture of whenever you're cooking and you have a lot of steam going on, what's the first thing you do if you're in the kitchen? You hit the overhead fan so that it sucks it all up and filters it out, right? Well, when you're emanating all of this steam from being in these low, dense vibrations of pain and angst and anxiety and addiction and frustration and despair, and you're emanating all that, it's like they're like the cooking fan. They're just like, and that's what's feeding the not so niceys. All right. So it doesn't have to be this giant, traumatic, dramatic event. I'm talking about your everyday life, your responsibility for the me, myself, and I of it in your everyday life. What are my thoughts? What's my emotional body doing? And is it creating and triggering thoughts within me, creating more thoughts? And if that occurs, do I continue to grease the durable wheel and go into that? This is one of the reasons why I love past life regression, beyond quantum healing stuff that I do. Why? Because it set me up in the 90s to understand some of the things that happened in previous times that I don't remember that have a very valuable lesson to what is happening now. So instead of living with this self-sabotaging, not so high vibration, misunderstandings, creating anger and hatred, and again, all these density things, known or unknown, right? Known or unknown. The past life regression work is able to help you get in there and kind of see what occurred, right? And then bring it to a space and a place where there can be love, forgiveness, better understanding, clarity. And then what do? We send it back to the light. We send it back to the light. We don't just release it to dissolve. And I work a lot with Saint Germain, the Violet Flame, and Kuan Yin, and the Lavender Flame. And I invite them in to come in and to transmute and take everything back out to the light, so that nobody else ever has to walk through my cloud of steam. And whether their fan is intentionally picking it up to feed themselves, or it's just picking it up and then it creates this dump onto someone else in my proximity, that's called doing harm. So when I say work it like at your job, if you really want to get to the core of who you are, why you're here, the purpose of everything that is in the atmosphere of your lifeline between Prime Source Creator and Earth, and what you're doing dangling in the middle or walking on the surface, if you want to find out all those things that is going to lead you to the heart, to the core, to the authenticity, to the original source of who you are, you got to get rid of all the stuff. So you got to start, number one, with each day making a commitment that you'll not feed into the environmental stressors, the frequencies intentionally or unintentionally set out. So, for example, when I say that, not just the ones that are being set by the not so niceys, when you do not calibrate, say that again, when you do not calibrate, you are sending a frequency out for someone else to walk into it, and sometimes they walk into it like a brick wall. That's called doing harm. So it's your job to take responsibility of your house, get your household affairs in order. And dismantle, dissolve, resolve, get assistance, transmute, send back to the light before anybody else picks up on your mood, your thoughts, your feelings, your whatever you're projecting, and then perceiving and percepting. Again, it all goes back to stop, put the brakes on, drop into that body, connect with that God source breath, allow the oxygen to go through so that every rhythm of every ounce of your body is in its divine original core packaging, and it's playing a symphony that now talks to other spots instead of this part yelling and this part I'll shut down, or this part because that's what happens in the body. Every organ, everything has its own beautiful rhythmic tones and sounds and responses to rhythm around it. And the only way you're going to learn how to get to know that is you stop, put the brakes on, you drop into your body, and you intentionally force air all the way into the bottom of your lungs, pause, and exhale. And you do this repeatedly until you feel that, okay, I'm fully in here. All right. Time freaking out. Time freaking out before it's time out because other people are not taking the time. So before you worry about what other people are doing, you can set the example by taking it within yourself. Put the brakes on, drop into your body, connect with that divine breath. Do it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. I don't care how long. I don't care if you're at a light, you're at your desk, you're in the bathroom stall, you're wherever you are. If you can't get to nature, bring nature to you in your visualization. Bring in the beautiful violet flames of Saint Germain and Kuan Yin and transmute what you might not be able to understand at the moment, or you know it's glitching you. It's staticking you out. And your rhythms are just not in rhythm. They're in chaos. They're like going into a closet of wires and someone's already torn them all apart and nothing's totally connected. And so that's what we're working on, is getting ourselves to our divine blueprint of our God source original self. And how do you do that? You got to start eliminating the triggers. And so just by recognizing that there are frequencies in the air. I mean, how am I talking to you? There's a frequency somewhere that's bringing this to a device in your home or wherever. The same with radio, the same with television, the same with computers. There's airways, folks. And so if they have the power to do that, imagine the advanced technology that's not being shared with you, that's being brought in, that's emanating negative rhythms that are overwhelming. So even though I said on the other video that some are being reduced and some have been abolished, there's still some here. But we have to start with the individual home, the individual house of our divine spirit, God source, that's within this physical body. We got to take care of this carrier case, okay? And that requires divine breath. It requires divine breath. So much love and light to each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Go back and look at my other video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I love to hear about them and check